What's going on, guys? Platinum Bees coming at you with another video. Today's topic, why I'm stacking cash and why it's okay to stack cash. So yeah, let's get into it. Okay, guys. So a lot of people know that the fiat dollar is slowly becoming worthless over time. Um, this paper is slowly becoming, or I guess it's not really paper, but these bills are slowly losing their value over time, whereas platinum is poised to increase in value drastically. Silver and gold too, but platinum drastically over time. So you would think it would be better to just stack metals and just dump all your cash into metals. Just give me all the metals. I kind of want to talk about why I'm stacking cash and why I think it's okay to stack cash. Right now in the world we live in, cash is king. You know, if I walk into a store and I hand them cash, they'll take it. If I hand them this, well, I don't live in Great Britain, so they're not going to give me anything. But if I hand them this, they might give me $100, depending on who the cashier is, but that's going to be about it, and that would be a very dumb mistake. But this is recognizable, and this is what they'll take. No matter where I go, unless it's some crazy cashless business, no matter where I go, they'll take the cash. So it's important to make sure you have at least some cash on hand. Now, I have been guilty in the past of just blowing all my extra money on PMs with the mindset that it's how I'm storing my wealth. And I get that. It's a great store of wealth. All of the PMs are really a great store of wealth. If the time comes where you need to have a little bit extra cash, you're going to want that cash and you're going to want it immediately. Now, if all you have is PMs, you do have assets that you can get rid of and sell, but you might be selling at a loss at the time, depending on where the market is. And if you try and go get a loan against your assets, you probably will have to pay interest unless you find like a friend or something who's willing to help you out. You will have to pay interest on that loan. And because of that, you're spending more money overall as far as your metals. And you just don't want to get into debt and loans and things like that. And you don't want to be putting up your PMs for a loan, you know? You don't want that to happen. I mean, in an emergency, if you need to, yes. But this is why I'm talking about stacking cash and why it's okay. Now, I also want to give another reason why I like to stack cash. I'll admit I have fallen into every extra money I get, I dump it into PMs, but I've kind of changed my strategy a little bit. And so what cash benefits for me is I bank with online-only institutions. I think that's a great way to do banking because usually online-only institutions have way better benefits than traditional brick-and-mortar banks. Unless it's a credit union these days, most banks don't even give free checking accounts. And me being self-employed, I don't have a regular, steady income as far as, I get a paycheck every 2 weeks. It's the same. I'm on salary. It's not like that. My income is completely sporadic at different times for different amounts, and that's just not good for a bank that's like, oh, if you want to avoid fees, we need direct deposit of such and such amount every month. Because maybe I'll make a lot of money one month, and maybe I'll make very little the next month. And so that just becomes a pain for me. So I need a bank that I can bank at for free but also has benefits. A lot of online-only institutions offer interest. It's low interest, but it's interest on checking of all places. All of them have savings accounts with greater interest rates than any traditional bank. And a lot of them have cash back or bonus points or whatever. Free checks, 24/7 call centers, all kinds of stuff. Because they're not paying for branches, so they save all that money and they pass on a lot of benefits to you. But this isn't about online banking. This is about cash. And me having cash, my online bank allows me to use ATMs for free. I don't get charged anything by the ATM. It depends on the ATM, but I don't get charged anything by the ATM or the bank. So I can go get cash for free. Now, for me to put this cash back in my checking account, it makes it a little more difficult because there's no physical branches, and the ATMs that I use, they don't take deposits. So what am I supposed to do with this cash? Well, there's a few ways I could put it back in the bank, but it's going to be a pain, and it's not something I really want to deal with. So having this cash makes it hard for me to just put back in my checking account and buy something on AppMax or JM Bullion or something. So having this in physical cash makes it harder to spend. I'm also less likely to take this out and spend it at a store because I feel like I'm actually spending a hard asset instead of like a credit card. And that's a big Dave Ramsey thing. If you're a Dave Ramsey fan, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. If you're not, he talks a lot about that. I think it's a good point. If you just carry around cash and you just use cash for things, I know you don't get cash back and stuff like on credit cards, but it's a lot less likely that you're to overspend, and it's a lot more likely that you'll think more about what you're spending your money on. And so I think that's a good reason to stack cash. But if you find yourself having a difficult time still stacking cash, my suggestion is find a piece of bullion, right, that you want. Maybe you're collecting a series or something. For me, it's the Queen's Beast. I know that I have 6 of the Queen's Beasts. I don't have the dragon, and they haven't released the new lion or the horse yet. And so because of that, I know that when they do release those coins, I'm going to want them. But if I just keep blowing my money, I'm not going to have $1,000 to spend on the lion, the horse, or the dragon, or whatever I find if I just keep dumping it on silver and other stuff. So I'm slowly stacking 1,000 in cash so that I can be prepared for when that coin comes out, which might not be for months. And so when that coin comes out, if I don't have extra cash, I will be able to still buy it if I want to because of all the cash I've saved up and stacked. And if there's an emergency between now and when the new coin comes out, I'll also have cash. Now, the only downside to this is you are spending your emergency cash, I guess, if this is what you have as your emergency cash, you're spending your emergency cash on like PMs. And so if an emergency arises right after you buy the coin you've been waiting for, months for, you will end up having to just resell it. So there is a downfall to this method. But I am sharing that kind of method for individuals who find themselves having a difficult time just saving cash. And I get it. The fiat dollar, it loses its money. It loses its value. I think it's averaged 2% every year. So every year, $100 is worth $98, worth $96, equivalent in stuff you can get for it. So I get it, but that's just a kind of cool method I thought about. I have extra cash in other places. This isn't my only method, but it is a cool method to kind of just toss this in the safe, wait months and months until it comes out, and then if I don't have extra money, I have this. If I have extra money, then I just save this, At the end of the day, it's just emergency cash. So I think it's a good idea to at least stack some cash. I don't think you should just stack cash like some person hoarding bills, like a mattress stuffer or something, but it's good to have some of this in case of an emergency. Even just if you lose your credit card, Like, oh, I lost my credit card. Well, I can't even fill up my gas tank until they send me a new one. Oh, wait, I've got cash. So cash is very good to have. I wouldn't say put all your money in cash, but a nice little stack can't hurt anything. So, yeah, guys, that's my take on stacking cash, why I'm stacking cash, why I think it's good for you to stack cash, a good option for those who have a hard time stacking cash. And yeah, guys, so until next time, we'll see ya.